Oh, it's Unik again, and this is another episode of solving genuinely approachable pencil puzzles. Kind of a bonus episode because I will be solving bonus puzzles from the GAPP 4, which is the collection for February 2022. There are no examples for the bonus puzzles, which is kind of okay because they are for the genres that we have already covered previously in that month, except for the last one, which is just here for some reason. Well, we'll have to work without examples this time. So the first bonus puzzle is Square Jam by Shye. The rules divide the grid into square regions of orthogonally connected cells. A number indicates the side lengths of the square it's in. Region borders may not form any four-way intersections. Also, bonus puzzles might be slightly harder than normal GAPP puzzles, but we'll see. Okay, so for square jam, you can start with ones, because there can be only one square of size 1 containing the given cell. Also, those cells must be also squares of size 1. Now we cannot have four-way intersections, so those two cells must be in the same square, and means that it must be at least a 2 by 2 square like this, and then it must be a 3 by 3 square like this. I'm going through more I want to say more stupid steps to remind what the puzzle is about, but I will stop doing that at any moment. So here we have kind of similar situations, and this square cannot increase further. Here we also must have this at least 2 by 2 square, which contains a 3, so it's actually a 3 by 3 square. And on this side another 2 by 2 square. Those two cells must be in the same square, and it must be a 2 by 2 square. Now those are 1 by 1, and this 3 in a corner, so it must be a 3 by 3 like this. Those two are in the same square, those two are in the same square, and it is a 2 by 2. Those are 1 by 1, this 2 in the corner means this is a 2 by 2, another 2 in the corner. This 2 on the border, and if I draw this 2 by 2 like this, all of those would be 1 by 1, but then we will have a four-way intersection here, so we will undo all of that and make this 2 by 2 like this. Now those must be ones. This is 2 by 2. What's next? This is a 3 in the corner. Here I want to avoid a four-way intersection, and if I join those two squares it will be at least 4 by 4, but it will also take the 3 inside, which cannot happen, so I'm not connecting them, therefore this one is actually a 2 by 2. We have some possible two-way intersections here also, and those two I cannot connect because I have a border here. So this must be just 2. this cannot grow to 3 because otherwise I will have a 4-way intersection here, so it must be a 2 by 2 also. This is 1. Here we have potential 4-way intersection, so this again 2 by 2. Now this 3 has only one option, like this. This must stay 2 by 2. This should probably be a 2 by 2. I think otherwise I will have a 4-way intersection at this point. Right. Like if this 1 by 1, then this 1 by 1, this 1 by 1, and I have a 4-way intersection, which is bad. So it must be a 2 by 2, and I'm done. Yay! The first bonus puzzle. Very nice. A bit harder. It's noticeably harder than most of what I have been solving previously. The second bonus puzzle is a full Masyu puzzle by Jovial. Drawing an intersecting loop through the centers of all cells, because it's a full puzzle. The loop must turn on black circles and travel straight through the cells on either side. The loop must go straight through white circles and turn in at least one of the cells on either side. So just to remind how Masyu puzzles look like. In these black ones we're drawing like this V letters, and in white circles we're going straight, but like we cannot have a situation like this where on both sides we continue going straight. So at least on one side we need to turn. And we usually start start with circles near the borders because they have less options. So for white circles we can go straight only in one of two directions. And for black circles, since we have to turn, it means that there will be a segment of length at least 2 in vertical direction and in horizontal direction, in one of two vertical directions and one of two horizontal directions. And for circles near the border, it means that like one of two vertical directions in this case is bent, so we will have the other one. And now this black is just fully decided, and this one we have to go further straight, but not further than that, because like for this white circle, on one side we have gone further straight, so on the other end we cannot. For this black, it cannot go left horizontally because it must go for at least 2 cells, and that would create a fork. So it goes like this. Those blacks are near the border. And I should also remember that it is a full Masyu puzzle, actually, right? So far I didn't use that it's full. Through the center of all cells. Well, we can see if it is solvable without saying that it's full. We cannot go left, so we must go right here, go right here. From here I must go up. Need to continue the loop here. Here I only have one direction left. I'm pretty sure that there are more deductions to be had here, but let's finally use that it is a full puzzle. So in the corners we'll have those turns. Now for this white, it has to turn on at least one of the sides, and it creates another corner here. I need to visit those cells, and there is only one way to do that. Need to visit this corner, to visit this corner and these corners. Great. Here I have another corner, so it goes like this. If I turn right here in this area, I will have 3 endpoints, which is impossible. So to connect those two and visit everything in this area, I must connect them like this. I cannot close the loop here. Need to visit that corner. This white I cannot go through horizontally, so it must be vertical. This corner, and this is also a corner. Here, reminder that if I don't use this segment, then I will have to close this loop, so I am using this segment. This white didn't turn here, so it must turn here, then go straight through this white. Turning here, continuing the loop without closing. And also here. Now this white must turn. Cannot close this loop still, so it connects here. But I cannot connect here because this is the same path. Okay, this one wasn't much harder. Still pretty easy. But still a nice puzzle. Bonus puzzle number 3. Yagit by Tyrgannus. This is a weird one, and I didn't much like the original puzzle that was in one of the previous episodes, because it kind of was like just brute forcing and checking that only one of options work. We'll see if this one is more interesting or harder, I don't know. And the rules are pretty long. Divide the grid into regions by drawing straight lines along the grid lines. Region lines go all the way across the grid, only stopping if they touch a black dot. Line segments may connect dots. Line segments may turn on dots but are not required to, so we can go through a black dot. Lines may intersect through the grid but cannot intersect through a dot or branch from a dot. So yeah, all of those rules together means that it is not required to use every dot, so dots are connected by exactly 0 or 2 line segments. Each region must contain at least one animal, and no region may contain 2 different types of animals. So we need to separate those wolves and sheep. 4 or more dots may not be connected in a loop. So for every line, like it starts somewhere on the border, then it might like turn on some dots and then finish on the border. Otherwise, like it will be a cycle which is not allowed. Okay, so in this puzzle we usually like find wolf and sheep that needs to be separated like this and draw a line between them. So wolf and sheep like this. Here we can draw 2 lines right away. This looks pretty good already. So the next step is probably like looking at those two, because they're close to each other. But there are 2 options, right? I need to either draw a segment like this, or like this. And both options look fine right now. I will also have to use this dot because I need to separate those two. I can't see what the next step, the next logical step would be. I need to separate those two. It must be done with a horizontal line like this or like this. But this one, the lower one, will create this empty region, so we cannot use it, so it must be this one. It's not really helpful, although I cannot use this line now because it will create this empty region, which means that those cells are connected and therefore I need to separate them like this. But here I can continue forward or turn. Although continuing forward doesn't look good because it feels like this will be an empty region once I go further from this dot, right? If I go left, it's an empty region. If I go up, it's an empty region. If I go right, it's still an empty region. So this is a bad option. So I must go here. Okay, great. Making some progress here. I cannot use this vertical line now because this will be an empty region. So those are connected and therefore I need to separate them like this. From here cannot go down because this will be an empty region. Can go left, can go up. From this dot I cannot go right because this will be an empty region, so I can go down or up. From this dot I cannot go up because this will be an empty region. But I also need to separate those two somehow. Can't be here because of this empty region, can't be here because of the same empty region, can't be here because of still the same empty region, so it goes here. Okay. Now this one cannot go left and cannot go right because I will have an empty region here, so it goes down. No, this one cannot go left. This dot cannot go left because of this empty region, so it goes right. It looks like just connecting it like this works. Yeah, the other option would be to go right from here, but this will create empty region here. Okay, I still don't really understand how to play this one, this genre. Yep, not my favorite. Bonus puzzle number 4. I forget numbers. Gemini loop by Freddie Hand. Yeah, this was the one about different letters having different patterns of entrance in the cell. Rules. Draw a non-intersecting loop through the centers of all cells. Cells containing the same letter must be entered by the loop from the same directions. Cells containing different letters must not. In other words, each letter corresponds to a unique shape. There are 6 possible shapes and there are 6 letters. And well, in the original puzzle, at least, there was like helper grid to track which shapes correspond to each letter. While the table below the grid may be helpful for solving, so it exists, it does not need to be filled and in fact must be empty for answer checker to work. So if the whole grid is too large to fit on your screen, it's fine to ignore the table completely and solve that way. Feel free to subtract a few seconds from your time based on how long it took to erase those segments. Well, we're not tracking the time. Also, there are no time standards for bonus puzzles, so that wouldn't matter anyway. I'm assuming that part was just copied from the original post. It's a full puzzle, so we can draw something in the corners right away. We have A's on top row and on bottom row, so they must be just horizontal because I cannot enter not from down direction and not from up direction, so they're just horizontal. Now it means that B cannot be horizontal, so it must be this upright corner. It's a full puzzle, so in the corner must draw something, and in all the D's it means that we are entering from below, and also they're on the right side, so we cannot go right. Well, we couldn't in any way. Great. This is a corner now, so continuing the loop. Cannot close the loop here, so have a segment like this. Also cannot close the loop here, so I'll have a segment like this. We have E on the left border, so those cannot turn left. Here I have only one way to continue the loop. And this is a corner now, and this is a corner now. So for ease, we also enter from below. This cell only has 2 entrances, so it goes like this. And for Cs, we enter from the left. Great. Cannot use this connection because it would close the loop. This cell only has 2 exits. This corner. And C cannot be horizontal because A is horizontal, so it goes up. This is a corner, goes like this. This is another C. Here we continue in the loop, and D goes straight, which is great because that means that E goes right, and F must be the remaining lower left corner. And I'm assuming that after I put all the letters, all the correct shapes for all the letters, it will be pretty straightforward to finish. But maybe not. Like, there is a genre called simple loop, which is just draw loops through all the cells. And, well, it's not super hard usually, but it's also not like super simple. But for now, it's just working through all the dead ends and like cannot connect the loop here, so it's like this. Cannot connect the loop here. Okay, that should probably do it. And need to remove all of that. Yay! And the last bonus puzzle for this month and also for this video, bonus puzzle number 5, Leads by Eric Fox. That's the genre we haven't seen, but it is like one of the very popular genres, so I know something about it. The rules: shade one tetromino of cells, so like a connected figure of 4 cells in each region, so that all shaded cells form one orthogonally connected area. So if we like look at all the shades in the whole picture, they must be all connected. 2 tetrominoes of the same shape may not share a bold border, counting rotations and reflections as the same. And that's like where the name of the genre comes from, because well, there are 5 possible tetrominoes counting rotations and reflections as the same, and they like their corresponding letters are L, I, T, S, and O, which would be like a 2x2 square, but no 2x2 square region may be entirely shaded, so we will not have any O tetrominoes, so we will only have those for L, I, T, and S. So yeah, in every region you need to shade just one tetromino, so that everything is connected, all the shaded cells are connected, and no 2 tetrominoes can touch each other, no 2 tetrominoes that of the same shape can touch each other. So if 2 are touching, they must be different. and like it can be so that two regions that are near each other, that are neighbors, have the same tetromino, but they cannot touch. The tetrominos themselves cannot touch. Usually we start with like smaller regions where we can like deduce some shaded cells. For example, in this like snaky 5-cell region, those 3 must be used, and like there are 2 options to do that. This is a 2x2 square, and it has already 3 shaded cells, so the first one must be unshaded. Those like p-pentomino regions are a like staple of this genre. It like initially it seems that like I can shade this one, because otherwise like all my connected regions will be of size less than 4, which is bad. But I can also shade this one, because if I don't shade it, then the remaining tetromino will be O-shape, which is not allowed. So this one must be also shaded, and like we have 3 options for which of those 3 cells is left unshaded, and the other 2 will be shaded. Here, if I shade this cell, it will have to like escape inside its region to form a tetromino, but then I will have this 2x2 region, and also the same is true for this cell, but now it's fine. Okay, we have like more snaky regions here. They're a bit longer. This one is 7 cells, so I can shade only the middle one. Here we have 6, so I can shade those 2. Here we have 8, so right now I cannot shade anything, but if I shade this one, I have to continue to the right and get this 2x2 square. So this one must be unshaded. Now I have only 7 cells left, so this one must be shaded. And this one is already 7, so this is shaded. Now in this region, if I shade this one, it will go like this and create this 2x2 in the corner. So actually this one and this one must be unshaded. Now we have 7, and also now I know that in this region it will be an I tetromino, which means that like any tetromino that will touch it cannot be an I tetromino. That's the main usage of that rule, that like two touching tetrominos must be different. So we can see that like if I shade this one, it will be an I tetromino and it will be bad. But also we can see that if it is like this, then this cell cannot create actually a tetromino without creating a 2x2 square, so this would be unshaded in any way. Now this snake only has 6, so this one is shaded. And like in those well, in this type of snaky figures, well, it's not always like this. Like for example, this would be an S tetromino, but here a lot of options are L tetrominos, and like I think in this region we are guaranteed to have an L tetromino. Like every option, this is an L tetromino, this is an L tetromino, this is an L tetromino, this is an L tetromino. So every option is an L tetromino, which means that another tetromino, like from another region that will touch it, cannot be an L tetromino. And there is also like a lot of L tetrominos in neighboring regions. Like in this region also all the 3 options we have left are L tetrominos. It means that those 2 cannot touch, which means that those cells are unused, and we have finished our first full tetromino, and also we cannot use this cell, not only because it's a 2x2 square, but also because like those L tetrominos cannot touch each other. In this region also, like if I use this cell, it will be an L tetromino which will touch this one, which is bad. So this cell is unused, and this one is used. Now in this region, cannot use those two because they will escape to the left and create squares, which means that here I have 2x2 square, but also I can again see that no matter which one of those two I will shade, it will be an L tetromino again, so this one must not be an L tetromino. It must be an I, 2x2 square, and we get our L here, and those two L's do not touch. Touching at the corner doesn't count. Touching like orthogonally neighboring cells. Right. Now I cannot shade this one because of 2x2 square here. Cannot shade this one because of 2x2 square. Great. So we have like mostly solved this bottom part of the puzzle, and also cannot shade this cell because of this 2x2, so it goes like this. Now if I shade this cell, this will be an L that touches this L, which is bad. And now if I shade anything like below this point, I will have this 2x2 square, so all of those must be unshaded, which is great. I think we need to like go further in this upper right corner. We have like this part that is disconnected from everything else right now. So and we remember that at the end everything must be connected. So they must be connected to the outside world through like this region somehow, which will then connect to this region, which will then connect further, like either here or here. So those two regions must touch, which means that their tetrominoes must be different. I don't know if it's super helpful right away. Actually, don't know what to do. There is this big square in the middle, which would be hard to traverse. Like we can only shade 4 squares in every region, so like I cannot even reach from one side to another in the square. But maybe I don't want to connect through the square. Maybe I will just go around. Or maybe I can connect like this, for example. So even though like it is kind of weird to have it here, I can't see any way to use it right now. This corner region must connect to the outside world, and it can only do this through this region. So if in this region, which is like kind of long, if I shade something like here, it will not reach this part and it will be cut off. So it looks like I cannot shade anything like from this cell below, because if I shade this cell, I cannot go up because of this 2x2 square, and like if I shade anything below, I need to reach here, but that means that I need to go through this how do you call it? I don't know. Bottleneck. So this point and everything below must be unshaded. Okay, that's great, because like, now I have this component that must be connected through the big square. And I can try to reach here, but that's like at least 5. So I have to actually go like this, as I drew first. That means that like in this region, this terminal goes something like this. It cannot go here because that would be two eyes connecting, so it must be an L here. Which means that I cannot use this cell because that would create a 2x2 rectangle. Now what's left of this region is like this P-pin terminal, so I'm using those two. I also have to use this cell to connect to this right region, and of those two I cannot use this one because that would be two L's next to each other, so it must be a T here. Okay, great. Now from here I need to reach to the left through this region, which is again kind of wide. So have like two cells here and two cells here, which can be like entrance and exit, and they are on distance like exactly 4. So I must like, build a bridge. So if I connect here, then I will need to go like this. Well, that seems to work, actually, yes. But that's kind of like guessing. Also, like in the end, it is easier. Like in some genres, it is easier to just draw how the engine looks instead of disproving that, like proving that nothing else works. So like what I saw was something like this. Yay. Now we can try to see if I can actually prove it. So I cannot have an ST terminal here because to connect it will have to go like this, but I cannot reach this region. So this will have to be an L. Cannot use this one. And cannot have an L1 here, which is kind of strong requirement. If I don't use this cell, then it will be an L for sure, which is bad, so I have to use this cell. Now I cannot use this one, so I get an L here, and this one grows further. If I don't use this cell, this also will be an L, so I'm using it. This also will make it an L. Cannot use this one because of this 2x2, so it must be like this. Now I cannot use this cell because of this 2x2 square, so to continue further I need to use this one. And yeah, here just like a lot of options, but they will only one of them works for types. Like this is an L which matches with this L, This is S which matches with this S. This is another L that matches with this one. So the only correct way is like this. This was much harder than usual difficulty level of genuinely approachable pencil puzzles. Or maybe I'm just like not great at leads, which is kind of true. Okay, I did the 5 bonus puzzles, and that means that we are done with this 4th edition of genuinely approachable pencil puzzles, and in the next episode, whenever that will happen, I will start the 5th edition, which will be of like March of 2022. Thanks for watching. You can still participate in Puzzle Grand Prix. Great puzzles. Highly recommend, but it is hard. Bye.